Let me admit all. Let me see here. Hello, hello. Let me see who do we have here. George, Mark, Josh, Abby, Mario, and oh, there's more people coming. Just a second. Let me admit all of you. So, hello guys. For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Mariana. Actually, I forgot to change my name here. My name is Mariana. I am Pebble's success manager, customer success manager. And we are here today with Jesse and Kevin. They are our co-founders here in Pebble. If you guys don't know Kevin yet, he's more attached to the product sides of things. So he was the one that actually developed the agent that we are going to talk about today. And let me just see who else is here. John, Steve, Glenn, hello, 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 Jody, Peter, Ed, Efrat. Don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Pardon me if not. So, welcome everyone. And just one more person coming. Let me allow them to enter. And let's begin. So, today we are going to show you a little bit of how this all works. We have some questions prepared for you, and we have received some other questions from the users. So in the end, we are going to answer those questions and also allow you to ask more if you need, okay? So since we have a big group today, if you guys want to share on the chat where you guys are speaking from, that would be great, um, especially for our team here to know. Oklahoma, Vancouver, Milwaukee. Okay. STL, what's this? St. Louis, maybe.
St.
Illinois.
Louis.
Yeah, okay. Long Island, Austin, Texas. Oh, George, you are from Texas. I didn't know actually. Cool. Israel, great. So even from other continents. Great. Okay, guys, so that's it. I'm going to pass to Jesse and Kevin now. Welcome and let's go.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys. We're so excited to be talking about what you see on screen here, what we're calling Pebble Intelligence. This is sort of the AI engine behind Pebble and some of the things that we're doing.
Not
Um,
familiar with
and
your
I'm going to
code.
continue to let other people in here. All right. And if you don't mind to just make sure you're muted, it's been a while since we've had a larger group. And so, hey, just to let you know, these happen every single Wednesday. We have like 3 live sessions a week. And if you're not even aware of that, you can always join. It's the same time every week. This one happens. It's either Mariana and myself, or Mariana and Kevin, or sometimes just Mariana herself. We're here to just answer questions, and sometimes we're here to demo stuff. I know some of you guys are a little bit more excited about this one because of the direction that we're taking Pebble. It's really exciting as Pebble comes into sort of a new, uh, I guess, a new step here. How Pebble can continue to serve you and your business, not only access to streamline everything that you're doing in one platform, but now we're starting to understand how can Pebble start producing outcomes? How can Pebble start working autonomously with your team and become part of your team? This is really the next phase of Pebble that we're really excited because the platform, the processes, the CRM, the communication, all this stuff is inside of Pebble. Obviously, we're going to continue to work on that. But now the vision here for Pebble is, again, how does it start becoming part of the team, producing outcomes for you and your team? So, uh, excited to share with you sort of the first step here with what we have. So, transcribing this, awesome. Thanks. Thanks for noticing my haircut. I appreciate that.
Doing great,
Awesome.
Jesse.
I always love reading the chats. Okay, well, let's jump right into it. So, we are going to be launching our very first agent here. We're calling this our AI intake agent. This is version 1.0 of the agent that we're launching. And we're going to go through that here in today's demo. So what is the intake agent? Kevin, can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so this comes down to a request or really a problem that we hear so many of our customers facing. And that's especially as you start to scale, right? Either you're sending lots and lots of mail or you're doing text messages or cold outreach. Um, you start getting a lot of leads. And what that usually means is needing somebody to start fielding inbound calls. I know when I was starting out, it was easy for me to handle my own calls because I was only getting one or two a day. But as my business scaled up, that quickly got out of hand, and I was spending most of my time handling calls. Um, and so we start needing some way to field that. Now that could either mean hiring a call service, so a third party service to answer calls for us, but that comes with some downsides, right? That they don't always know our business. They don't always greet the person with the kind of rapport that we would want to greet someone. And then ultimately, that person is just taking information uh, and then saying goodbye to the caller, right? They're saying, okay, thanks for your name and your number. We'll be in touch. Bye. And then you might call that person back and never be able to get in touch with them again. We want to make sure that if there's a lead, if somebody is ready to talk to you, like you want to be on the phone with that person immediately. There should be no calling back or doing things like that. And something that I experienced so many times. I ended up having all of my calls go to a voicemail where it would say like, hey, I'm such and such willing to buy your land. Please tell me a bit of information, and then I'll call you back. And there was so many times where I just couldn't get a hold of that person after their initial call because it's likely they've moved on to their lives. They've contacted another land investor, or they've forgot about it, and then you just don't get that opportunity again. So Pebble's AI agent is different here. So what actually happens when somebody calls in is they are going to be screened by an AI. So this is an actual person that's talking and able to have a coherent conversation with this person. And the goal of the Pebble intake agent is to try to determine, is this a legitimate lead? Is this somebody who's mad about receiving a letter and yelling at us never to send them a letter again? Or is this something that's something else that needs to be followed up on? And so if the agent determines that this is a lead, it's going to try to transfer that call directly to you right there, or either to you or somebody on your team right there, so that you can immediately go into the conversation having collected that initial information, and now you can start trying to build rapport enough to make a deal happen. So that's our ultimate goal, is to get more deals while saving you time, not having to handle all those leads, all of those calls that aren't actually potential deals.
I think there's something interesting here. There's been recently, the last, I would say almost 12 months, there's been some studies done here in terms of, success rates with AI agents versus things like a live call answering services versus voicemail. You're much more likely going to get a call back versus something like a voicemail or what do you call it? A call answering service. So the callback success rate is a lot higher with this. You're obviously going to get a lot of, financial savings as well if you're working with other services, like Pat Live or Answer First. You're also going to lower your hang-up rates as well, compared to non-Western speakers. People do pick up on that, so you're going to be able to lower that. There's a lot there. I'll show you where you can look that up later after this presentation. Cool. Well, why don't we go into setting up this intake agent? I know there's going to be questions, so if you want to jot them down, There's a lot of people here, so it might be challenging to scroll back up to see them. So, but you can try to jot them down, and I'll mark them, um, and we can go back to that afterwards.
Hey Jesse, can I jump in just for a second?
Sure. Yeah. Hey, John.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
You had a call with Brent Bowers. You did a podcast with him just a little while ago,
Okay.
right? And
Maybe.
I guess you a little the irony is you talked about the significance of the human factor, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to touch on that just a little bit?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we're not all going to be there, right? So to pick up calls and live, most of it is going to voicemail. So the next best thing here is still using AI. Now, I believe in order to close a deal, you still need that rapport. This isn't going to replace you building rapport. This is just going to lubricate the process of you capturing that lead and moving that to the next step. This isn't going to at all replace anybody, as an owner who needs to talk to those leads. In fact, I double down on that. Like you are, as a person, you are going to be more and more important. But uh, there's also the limiting factor is that most of us aren't going to be by our phone. Most of us aren't going to be picking up calls. So this is where this is going to come into place.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, let's start
Cool.
off setting things up. Kevin, you want to walk us through here?
Yeah, so this is now live in your account, so feel free to follow along, set this up on your own if you choose, or you can do that later as well. So everything starts from our inbox. Our inbox is really our central communication hub, and so we configure our AI agent, our intake agent, through the inbox. So here I've got my seller inbox. This is where I'm handling my leads coming in for acquisitions. And I'm going to set this up by clicking the settings icon here. And you'll notice now a new tab for the intake agent. And actually, this account does not have any phone numbers, so it doesn't really, this won't work straight out of the box today. You will have a phone number here, and I'll show you how that works once we get into it. But what you'll do is you'll say configure intake agent. And this will take you to this screen here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give our agent a name. So this is how that agent is going to answer the phone. It's going to say, "Hi, I'm Alex," or "Hi, I'm, Susie," or "Tim," or however you want to have that agent introduce itself. So I've chosen Alex here, so it'll pick up saying, "Hi, I'm Alex." And what's important to note here is that we're not trying to hide the fact that this is an agent. And we think this is really important for the person calling in. If you try to pretend this isn't an AI, they're going to pick up on that and immediately hang up on you. But if you tell them straight out of the gate, like, "Hey, I'm Alex. I am a virtual assistant designed to help you get to what you ultimately want, which is an offer on your property." That's sort of the route that we're taking. So Alex is going to introduce himself as an artificial intelligence, and then what we've seen is that people once they know that, they really interact with it, saying, "Okay, well, this is better than press one for sales and press two to leave a message." So yeah, that's the route that we've taken here. So we give our agent a name. Next, we're going to give it our company name. So in my case, my company is Rockwood Lands. You'll enter your company name here, and Alex is going to introduce themselves as being from Rockwood Lands. Next, we're going to give information about your company. So I just copied this straight from my website. I just copy and pasted my little bio here. You can feel free to add additional information. Specifically, if you target a specific type of property, whether it's a distressed property like tax liens, or if you're going after large farmland, you may want to put that information in your about your company. And if there's any like specific questions that might come up, you can put those in here. So specifically about what your company does, and the agent will be able to pick up on that and respond accordingly. So that's our about the company section. Next, we're going to toggle on some intake questions. So these are the questions that the agent is going to capture from the person who is calling in, and we can turn these on and off. Now, we just have a few questions as part of this 1.0 release. We may add more to this, but it's important to remember that we don't want our agent to ask everything, right? We really just want to get to the core of the matter. Is this person interested in selling me a property or not? If we try to add too many questions, and what we found is that people will quickly get tired of that and will get frustrated and bail. So we want to just ask some core information from that user or from that caller. So we'll first ask, do we want to capture a mailer code? So if you're sending mail out via Pebble, we really recommend that you capture that mail code. That'll help the agent create a deal if you're going to ask for that. And then if we're not using mailer codes, you may want to ask this question, which is ask for the property's county and their APN number. We find that it's easier for the mailer code because it's likely that person is holding a letter in their hand. So we'll keep with that. We're going to ask if all of the owners listed on the deed are living and able to sign documents. We find that this is an important one just to tease out, is this person have title issues that I need to think about, or something like that. So we'll ask that question. And then we're going to ask, are they interested in selling? This is really a core question. Do they have any intention of selling? If they say, no way, I'm not interested at all, never call me again, our agent is going to know that and not forward that call to us. Okay, so we'll leave those questions on. The next step, well, if I had some phone numbers tied to this account, we would have the ability to turn on which phone numbers we want this agent to answer. So that'll be the next step. In your account, when you go here, you'll see a list of phone numbers. So this can be great if you have a couple different phone numbers and you only want it to answer that one of those phone numbers, or you only want to answer a specific group of phone numbers. You can set that up as well. Lastly, the deal creation. So this is very important. This is what really, I think, separates Pebble's intake agent from the rest, because we have a lot of context about what needs to happen once the agent determines that this is a deal. So we can actually create that deal in your pipeline. And if we ask for a mailer code, we can set everything up. So we know what the property is, we know what the contact is, we know what campaign it came from, because you may have sent this person multiple letters. You want to know, like, what letter are they looking at right now? So if we grab that campaign code, then we will create that deal with all the appropriate information set up so that you can just hit the ground running and go forward. If we don't have that campaign code, that's fine. We'll still create the deal for you. We just may not be able to tie in all of the pertinent property information and that sort of thing. So in this case, I will select my inventory, or I'll go into my seller deals, and I'll just put this in the lead in stage. So again, if the agent determines that this is a deal, it's going to create that deal in the lead in stage, and that will also land in my inbox, so I can know that that's there and start tracking that. Okay, so the next step is you want to test this, right? We want to see what this agent is going to do and how it's going to interact, and I may need to tweak some things as I go here. So we're going to test this call. So let me start this. Jesse, anything you want to say before
No, I
I
just
do?
want to say, when you're setting up the agent, it's pretty straightforward. You're not dealing with like lengthy prompts or anything like that. And I do want to stress here, like, this is version 1.0. But the key thing here is this is not a bolt-on where you're seeing a lot of you adding other services to this, and you're trying to make this agent work. This thing is tied into Pebble. It's part of Pebble.
Mhm.
And over time, it's going to have more and more context. And I won't go into that at all today because we're just launching this. But just so you understand where we're sort of going with this, and so how does this become really powerful for you? But yeah, setup is pretty straightforward. By the way, this is all live already. You can actually set this up today. If you weren't following along with Kevin, you can find that in any of your inboxes. I will also add, because somebody asked me this yesterday. I think it was George. George, I know you're here. Yeah, if you're running different land businesses, or a land business in Florida and another one in Texas, or you're calling it something different or whatever it is, you can have different intake agents for that inbox. So every inbox is going to have its own intake agent. Cool. Let's jump
Exactly.
in
Yep.
and demo this. I know you guys got questions. We've got those, so we'll make sure to answer those afterwards.
All right, so I'm going to test this call. Hopefully you all can hear this okay. I think I've set up the audio, but if you don't, let me know and I can reset things. Okay, so I'm going to click test this call and we will hopefully get this working.
It's already capturing your voice. Oh, we can't hear your audio, Kevin.
Okay, hold on just a sec.
Yep.
I'm going to try this without. See if that works. Let's try this one more time. So whenever you're demoing audio things, this gets tricky. Okay. We're going to do stereo, share. Okay, let's try this again.
Hello, I'm Alex with Rockwood Lands. I'm a virtual assistant designed to act like a real person. I'm going to ask a few questions in order to transfer you to a member of our team. How can I help you today?
Oh,
Yeah, I received a letter in the
Better
mail and
before.
I'm interested in getting an offer on my property.
Got it.
the audio stopped sharing. We can't hear you.
Yeah, it's Kevin Rockwood.
I think Kevin can't hear us.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
So let me just walk this through. As the voice kind of cuts off on Zoom. I don't know if it's because we've got too many mics on right now. This was working earlier, but anyways, you can certainly test this yourself. And I think Kevin has muted himself now. So you can see the transcript there. And so the agent is going to start understanding the intent. It's going to determine if this is a lead or not, or a deal or not. And if it is,
Yes, they are.
it's gonna create that deal. I think Kevin can't hear us. Well, we'll let you.
Yeah, I am interested if you can give me a good offer.
The information I need. Now transfer you to a member of our team. Transfer may take
He changed the setup there. That's why,
It
like
could
in the
be with
beginning, we were
Zoom's.
listening, but now we aren't.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to end the call right there because this is a test call. It's not actually going to
Hey,
transfer.
hey,
But
Kevin,
what
can you hear
would
us?
happen in the real world, and I encourage you to
Oh,
test this out with an actual phone,
oh,
is you would then be dialed
Kevin,
into the
I
thing.
think his audio, he can't hear us.
Oh shoot, hold on.
I think he changed
Yeah.
his speaker, right? Okay, that's probably why. Hey, Kevin, can you hear us? We'll see if we can attempt this again.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear
Yeah.
us? So,
Okay.
oh, can you hear us, Kevin?
Yes, I'm good.
So
Sorry that was
we
was I
couldn't.
muted the whole time there?
Yeah, we couldn't hear the entire thing, and I don't think you could hear us, but I was sort of explaining to everybody what was kind of going
Okay.
on. Well, do you want to try that again just for like a couple seconds and so that people can
Sure.
actually hear it?
Let's try this. Let's try the opposite where I'm calling in as an angry person who doesn't want to receive who's just like mad, right? Because
Yeah.
we want this AI to, if this person's just yelling at us, we want this to say, okay, thanks, see you later.
Yeah,
All
let's
right,
do that.
here we go. Let's try this again.
Hopefully, your microphone, or sorry, your speaker doesn't change.
Okay, let me try this again here. Okay, share sound. Okay, can you guys hear me still?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, let's try this again. and just yell at me if it's not working.
Okay.
Hello, I'm Alex with Rockwood Lands. I'm a virtual assistant designed to act like a real person. I'm going to ask a few questions in order to transfer you to a member of our team. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I got a letter in the mail on my property, and I just want you to know that I am not interested in selling and will never be interested in selling, and I don't want you to send me any more letters.
I understand and I appreciate you letting me know. Just to help us remove you from our contact list, could I please have your full name?
It's Kevin Rockwood.
Thanks, Kevin. Could you also provide me with the offer code? It's usually in the top right corner of the letter. Take your time.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here, and I'm so angry with you guys. I just can't believe you'd send me a letter. This is really making me mad. The offer code is 05-001.
I understand your frustration, Kevin, and I'm really sorry for any inconvenience this has caused. Just to confirm, that was 05-001, correct?
Yes.
Thank you for confirming that, Kevin. I appreciate your patience. I'll make sure to remove you from our contact list so you won't receive any more letters from us. If you have any other questions or concerns, feel free to reach out. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
You're welcome, Kevin. Have a great day.
Awesome.
All right. So what would happen in that case in the real world is it would not forward that call on to you. What's going to happen is it will create a message in your inbox so you can listen to the recording if you'd like. And it will also, if it can, because I gave it the offer code, it will look up that that contact based on the offer code, and it will mark them as do not contact. So it will not. We'll make sure that we don't send them any letters in the future.
I will add, you know, you might be thinking, well, what happens if this guy is just calling me back a second time and they're calling the same number? Is the agent going to be picking up? So how does that work, Kevin?
Yeah, great question. So we really want this to only handle first-time calls. So what Pebble is going to do is it's going to be smart. It's going to know, have I received a call from this person, or is there currently a conversation that has been happening with this phone number in the past? If not, the agent will pick up the call. If this is somebody returning a call, or maybe I have an ongoing conversation and they call in to the same number, the agent will not pick up that call. So it's only going to handle really that intake call. Yep.
Awesome. All right, so you have the ability to test this to set it up in your inboxes. Lastly, I think you already talked about how the leads are being handled as well. We're going to create a deal card for that. If there's a mailer code, we're going to line everything up. If not, we're still going to create a deal for that. If this person is interested in if there's intent or I guess interest in selling the property, that does end up on your deal board. So this stuff gets transcribed, gets recorded as well, so you can always listen to that. Now, again, this is version 1.0. We encourage you guys to go out there and test this. We're going to continue to learn from you guys as well. And let's sort of jump into some of the questions you guys have here for us. So I'm going to
Let
get
me
Mariana
share. Yeah.
to.
So guys, before I share, let me just tell you that we have an article about this in our knowledge base. I'm going to put the link in the chat right now so you guys can take a look at this. It's basically the same thing that Kevin has just explained, but it's there in written form for you if you are more of a reader than a seer. And let's go to our questions. So let me share this with you. We have the first one from Mark. Voices and scripts of the agents. Do we give scripts for agents? And what voices do we have a choice to choose from?
Yeah, so like you saw there in the demo, Mark, we basically handle the complexity of that whole script behind the scenes, and this is actually taken hundreds of hours of testing on the actual AI prompt. It's deceivingly complex to make a prompt that handles different situations well. So we think that we've come up with a pretty good prompt that the agent can handle a lot of those edge cases that randomly come up on calls. So you don't the thing I'm trying to say is you don't have to do that all yourself. You don't have to put in all these crazy edge cases of if the person does this, do this. So we handle all that for you, and all you have to do is turn on and off which questions you want to ask. In terms of voices, this version 1, we're just shipping with that voice that you heard. So it's just a neutral male voice. But we will be adding potentially more voices in the future.
Yeah. And I think
Great.
there was a couple questions here about voices in the chat. So again, this is version 1. And I know I'm getting some messages as well privately. So appreciate that.
So we have one from Rob, and I think Rob is here if this is Rob Warfield. So will this also include the AI voice function? So Rob, if that's you, can you give us a bit more of context here?
That might not have been.
Oh,
I
it's
don't
not
think
you
I
then.
wrote that. I didn't put that in.
It's probably a different
Sorry.
Rob.
Okay.
I was like, did
Yeah,
I
we were
do that?
wondering.
I can't remember.
No worries, no
Okay.
worries.
I don't know if this has to do with, is this a conversational AI? I mean, I don't think we're looking for, I don't think they're asking about like an AI command type of thing with voice. But this is sort of the conversational AI that we're working on. So I hope this demo sort of answered that question for you, Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know what that Rob was
No,
asking.
sorry. I meant whoever this Rob was.
That Rob.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was probably my split personality. Most likely he asked. That's a very abstract, weird question, so it was probably me.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So let's go to Anna. It's a very general question. I think it will help us answer a bunch of the things you guys have asked on the chat. So how can AI help me?
Yeah, I'll just say, and I mentioned this early on, this is something that I think AI is going to continue to develop, and it, we see this as being a part of your team. Pebble becomes a part of your team, a functional part of your team that produces outcome. And I know that's sort of general, sort of pretty broad, but that's where we're seeing the direction of where Pebble is going. It's no longer just a platform. It's no longer a platform with a CRM. It's no longer just streamlining processes for you. It's actually going to start acting on behalf of your team to complete certain tasks. But I think this is a pretty open-ended question. That's sort of how I interpreted it. Anna, Kevin, I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, I've we've talked to tons of investors, and what we consistently hear is that that intake part is such an important part of their business, and there's just a lot of challenge, whether you're using a call answering service or you're hiring an intake agent. That can just be a very difficult thing to get right. So we're trying to make that as easy as possible, and hopefully as economical as possible for you to use Pebble Intelligence to do that.
Yeah, so speaking of economical, there was a question on the chat about, is this an extra cost? So Jesse and Kevin?
Yes. So the way that this, sorry, did you ask about pricing? I was just in the middle of typing something.
Yeah.
So the way that this is
like
priced, right? Yeah. Okay. So the way that this is priced, it's not by the minute as you would typically see. What we value here is the outcome that Pebble produces, and that's what we're going to look at. Again, this is really, really important for us. Is it going to produce an outcome? So we only charge per deal created. So it's 99 cents per deal created. So if you have people calling in saying, take me off the list, or this is not a good deal, they're not interested, you will not get charged for those minutes for the time that the AI agent is talking or having that conversation. So it's pretty straightforward here.
And
okay,
remember that we're
great.
only handling those first time calls. So,
Right.
For other systems out there, you may be charged a bunch of minutes that are just basically transferring
Yeah.
to you. So we're sort of bypassing all that.
Mhm. And from Mike, what can the AI agent do and what are its limitations?
Yeah, so you've sort of seen a demo of what it can do. You know, it's not going to do everything. It's not going to handle your dry cleaning yet, but it will do a pretty good job of figuring out what is this person calling about, and is this something that I need to forward on to somebody on your team. And
So,
I just
Kevin,
also want to clarify there too. It will try to forward that call on, and if you're not available to pick up, that can just go to voicemail like normal, where it'll say, "Hey, I'm not here right now. Please leave a message," and then you can follow up with that person after the fact.
and Kevin, can you talk a little bit about two or more calls incoming at the same time, if that is the case, if that happens for you guys?
Yeah, so that's the beautiful part about this. We have unlimited inbound calling here. So if 10 people call you at one time, that agent is going to pick up all of those 10 calls, and maybe 7 of them are take me off your list calls, and 3 of them need to actually forward to you. It will dial you appropriately, and it may go to voicemail for those other calls, but at least you get one to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And what other agents are you planning as a follow-up?
Yeah, great questions. We have a lot of things that we're working on and prototyping right now. We don't have anything to share today, but just know that in the coming weeks and months, you will be hearing more about Pebble Intelligence and how it's going to make your business smarter and make you a lot more powerful investor.
We
Mm-hmm.
do have our page, pebbleria.com/pebble-intelligence. It's also now on the top menu bars. So we do have that broken down about our intake agent. Again, this is version 1, and I know there's going to be a lot of you guys testing things, and we're going to continue to build things out. But I do want to address a few more questions in the chat here. So, do we have a schedule when this transfers to live answer?
A schedule.
So I guess if somebody is going to be sleeping, to not transfer that to a live person.
Mhm. So the way that the transfer works is it follows your regular inbox rules. So if you mute your inbox, like at the end of the day, you mute your inbox, you don't want it to ring your phone, it will just go to voicemail like normal. So it'll be just as if somebody was calling your Pebble inbox today.
Also, another question here: can you have it ask what is the best number to reach the prospect at? And I think that is sort of baked into.
Yep. So
It
one
wasn't
of the
part
questions that it will ask, no matter what, is this a good number to call you back on, because we know that inbound number. And if it is a different number, then you will get that in the summary in your inbox, what the number they want to be called back on.
We also have a question. Why does the buyer inbox have a question? Are you interested in selling right now? So this is intake. So first of all, I guess I should say inboxes are very flexible. You can use it for buyers. You can use it for your inventory. You would only use your intake agent only for the acquisition side of things. So this is not for the dispo side yet.
Yet.
So just note that. So your all inboxes are going to have this ability to have have an agent there, an intake agent. It's up to you to turn it on or not.
Mhm. We are
Um,
working on a disposition agent too, for those of you who are fielding calls, and some cool stuff on that side, but that's not available just yet.
I think this has been probably the biggest request, like female voice answer. I've gotten some DM private messages, as well as we got a couple here. Some of you guys saying it's really important that it's female. So we're gonna take that back, and we're going to figure that out. It seems like you guys would like a female. So I know that question is pretty much answered there. Can we have messages? Can we take messages for us when we are not available? And that is the intention
Yes.
here.
Yes. So if you're not available, it will go to voicemail.
Say
And
you love me again.
Oh, Somebody's
For
happy.
real.
I'm gonna mute probably Ricardo there.
Yeah, so it will go to your voicemail like normal if you're not available to take the call. And you'll have the recording there in your inbox. The cool part is we actually separate out the recordings based on if you answer it, if you don't, and then so you'll see the initial conversation recording with the agent, and that'll be broken down in a summary. So it just gives you a quick bullet points like this is Susie, this is her mailer code, she's in Texas, and like try to remove the fluff of a maybe long conversation. And then the second recording you'll see is the voicemail, or if somebody picks up and has an actual call, you'll see the recording there.
Okay, I'm gonna jump forward here. Does this cost extra? Yes, I've answered that, but only for those deals. Like any other calls, it won't cost you. What if they cannot find the mailer code? Can it go on to the APN question similarly to if they cannot find the APN number, maybe? What
Yes.
happens? Yeah.
So the agent is smart. So if the person says I don't have a mailer code or I can't find the letter or whatever, it will say it will ask them for that information. So yes.
Joyita, will you be adding more intake questions in 2.0?
So we want to hear from you. What are the questions that you want? And the important thing is that we want you to test this with a minimal number of questions and then see, because what we have found, even with like call answering services, is often the more questions you put on there, the less likely the conversion is, just because people think, you're trying to survey them and they really just want to ultimately talk to a person. So that's something I would really caution you about. But do let us know what questions are those critical ones that you want to see on there, and we'd be happy to put those in.
Yep. It's the first part. Can we control when the handoff from the AI agent to the AQ takes place? Specifically, is it possible to configure the handoff so that certain instructions can be delivered before the call ends?
Certain instructions. So what will happen when it transfers you, um, is what you'll see. You'll actually the Pebble phone will ring, or if you have the app, your phone will ring. You'll pick it up, and the first thing you'll hear is an automated message, and it will say, this is the Pebble intake agent. I have Susie on the line. She's interested in selling her property. She's in Texas. Here she is. And then it will transfer immediately. So you have context to answer the phone. Hi, Susie. I understand you're interested in getting an offer. So you can kind of like set up that conversation quickly. So yes, that will happen automatically. Beyond that, maybe if you want to give us some more context on what you mean there, yeah, that might be helpful.
Um, Recommended ways to test this compared to third-party services like Pat Live. Um, I- this is obviously a really challenging one. I think like, you know, what's the rate that you're able to get back to that actual lead or property owner? So I would compare the two if you wanted to. Obviously, there's going to be, I mean, the cost savings is incomparable here. I think we're looking at an average saving of at least 200 and somewhat dollars per month. So,
Mhm.
that's something to think about as well. Are you all planning to incorporate an auto text option?
Yeah, we are thinking about this. There's some complexities there. If somebody's having a text conversation with you, we need to be careful about what we say and how we say it, and there's just a lot of potential situations there that we just have to think through. But yeah, if we get enough requests, we will definitely be thinking about that.
Yeah, we certainly have talked about that. Glenn here asks, can you toggle the forward to numbers?
And
Can you?
guys, just real fast, sorry, that was my question about the text. I really just mean a call comes in and then just one text message goes back and says, hey, thanks for your call. Can you please give us your reference ID number on your postcard? Like that's it. I don't mean like a full conversation with AI.
Okay, so they would call in or text you the first
Well,
time.
they would call or text, and an auto. It's Freedom Self does it. Sorry, I mean, an auto
Yeah.
thing goes immediately back. So a lot of times people will hang up, then an auto text message just goes to them
Ah.
and says, "Hey, this is Rob. I saw that you called. Do you
Mm.
have the reference ID number from your postcard?" And I'll have a text conversation with them, and then end up being able to close the deal because they didn't want to talk to somebody. They just want to text. It's
Okay.
kind of the world we live in, I guess.
So
Yeah, that's a good point. It doesn't support this right now, but that's definitely something that we could look into. Yeah.
I'll a couple more questions here. Can you toggle the forward to numbers? I'm not sure.
Yeah, so it will, the inbox that you have and all your numbers that you've configured will operate the same way. So if you have a forward number set up, it will forward to that number. So yes.
So you can turn that on and off if it needs to go to one number one day or a certain given number of hours and another number to another set of hours or something.
Well, we don't have quite that complexity, but you can turn on a forwarding number for a given number. Yeah.
How many forwarded numbers can you put in?
It's unlimited numbers. So if
Okay,
you've
so
got,
you would actually, to change that, you would just need to go in and turn a particular number off or delete it, or
right. Yep.
to off or delete. Yes.
Yes, you can remove a forwarding number, you can add a forwarding number at any time. So
Okay.
yeah, maybe we might be getting into the weeds on like how that all works, but maybe a follow-up support question we could figure that out for you.
Okay, good enough. That's good. Thanks.
Can we get it to ask different questions? We sort of answered that earlier. That is something we'd like to hear back from you guys. It might be easier to change the questions that fit the buyer inbox. Yeah, so again, the inboxes are the intake agent is strictly for intake only right now. So the way that we're going to handle Dispo is going to be a little bit different. So we'll get to that when that sort of happens. I missed the first part of the call. Is the list available for me to look at? Okay, sorry, it looks like it's answered there. Can we have the agent pick up a call when we are not available, even with the second time?
So it will only pick up that first time call. But that's a good question. We may be able to, like, if they call back an hour later. Um, right now it will not, the agent will not pick up a second time, but that might be something that we change. So certainly if you see that in the real world, let us know. We'd be happy to take that feedback.
When you call Apple 1-800 number, it says something like, "Hi, my name is Ria. I'm an automated virtual assistant. You can talk to me in full sentences." Okay. Yeah, so maybe that's a suggestion, Rob, for us to put in the introduction.
Yeah, that was a suggestion. I just always thought that was impressed. Like, again, you said it earlier, Kevin, that you're not hiding the fact that
Yeah.
it's an AI and it's whatever. But people don't really know. They're still not, it's so new
It's
that
new, yeah.
just saying the sentence, you can talk to me in full sentences, which you
Yeah.
can. That's what it can do. You don't have to say I'm a robot or just say, hey, you can talk to me in full sentences.
Yeah.
Are you looking to sell a piece of land?
Mhm.
Yeah,
That's a
cool.
great point. I think we're gonna see what calls end up happening and how things go. And yeah, we'll definitely look into optimizing as we learn more. It is
Awesome.
pretty incredible. Like when we've set up the agent with a bunch of contextual information, basically telling it you're trying to purchase property from somebody who's received marketing information from us. And so sometimes we've been in our tests, we'll throw it a curveball answer, like some weird question, and the agent does a pretty good job of answering that. And if it can't answer it, it'll say, well, once we get you connected with a person, we can answer that for you. So, yeah, it's pretty smart in that way.
Mark asks, can we have it replace Pat Live? That's going to be up to you. This is sort of an intention here, or if you cannot afford something like Pat Live, this is certainly going to be a lot better. And in fact, I don't know if you guys, I think some of you guys subscribe to this newsletter. It's an AI one, but it was just there was a study that was published yesterday about nurses or what do you call it? AI agents um, that did phone calls to assist with blood pressure readings. And they saw an uptick with this as well, and the success rate with that. In fact, it was all like senior people doing this, and it was like it reached 85% out of the 2,000 patients. And they knew that it was an AI agent talking, and they were happy to go through it with the AI agent. So I think this is going to start becoming part of the norm where conversational AI is going to start interacting more and like we're doing here, we're being upfront, letting them know that this is an AI agent. Awesome. All right, I'm going to take this last question here. Can we have our own agent connect with Pebble since the questions and greeting is not geared towards our specific real estate business? Will it work with Pebble? If so, you will have the ability to. I don't know if you caught that, George. You're going to be able to write your own company information so it knows what your company does. This is specifically, obviously, for intaking properties, specifically in the land business here. So other than that, you have the ability, I think you have like space for like 500 characters to load up and customize for the agent to understand what the business is all about.
Now, if it's a completely different use case, like there's something totally different about your business, do let us know. Like we would be happy to take a look. And if it's something that a lot of our users are needing, we have plans to introduce different types of agents. We talked about the disposition agent, but also, different types of business models that might work for you. So please let us know.
But would we have the ability though? I don't think a lot of people are going to be doing what we're doing.
Okay.
Simply, I mean, I'll just say it's the overage business, and so the questions aren't relevant to what we do. But still, it's involving in real estate. So, would we have the ability if we had another AI basically to be able to work with the Pebble system to accomplish basically the same type of thing? That's really what I was asking.
Yeah, so certainly we have ways to get things into Pebble, and so you could set up a third-party system to answer those calls and then forward them to your Pebble number. But there's no way to fundamentally change the way that our AI is interacting, at least for this version 1. But yeah, I'd be curious if you do have like a very if you could maybe share with us after the call or email us.
Sure.
I'd be interested in hearing that. Yeah.
I think, George, we've spoken before, with your overage business, the way I sort of see it is if you have very unique questions, you can still get it in with a different agent, get it into your deal board and manage it from there. And it should be able to do that for you. There's other services, but obviously down the road, it's not going to have as much context as like our intake agent. Now, intake agent is the Pebbles AI intake agent is going to change over time as we continue to work on it, but we'll see where things kind of go from there.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, guys, we're a little bit over time. I want to thank you guys for sticking around, for just listening and asking questions. We encourage you to go ahead and give this a shot. Again, this will only create deals if there is intent there. You can test it out yourself. Give us some feedback and hop on next week if you want to join us next week as well and bring some questions as well. Thanks again for joining us, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.